it seems that our bodies go through, our minds go through a similar psychological journey, regardless of the extent and the size of the change. And there are 5 stages that are generally observed. So the first one is denial. And you'll see there's a little lift in productivity and morale. You go, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be me. It's not going to apply to me. I'm going to be fine. And you just carry on regardless. And then actually it starts to sink in. Actually, it is going to apply to you. It is going to be you, whatever the change is. And you start to become frustrated or angry because you like things the way they are. You understand things the way they are. So why would you want to change them? And then that kind of bottoms out into a period of depression. Now, somewhere between frustration and depression is often where people will bail from a change. So if it's, say, for example, a restructure in an organization, this would be the sort of point where people would maybe choose to look for other things or decide they're going to take voluntary redundancy. That sort of thing is, people might choose, actually, at this point, we're going to bail from change. But if people don't, and they push through, over time, they begin to, actually, maybe this makes a bit of sense. Maybe I can see something in it for me about this change. Maybe, and it starts to balance out that frustration and anger and depression. And then over time, as they become more engaged with the change, they get to what I call here commitment. It's sometimes labeled hope. It's where they actually buy directly into the change. So they are committed and a part of that change. And actually, in a lot of cases, most cases, their commitment and their morale and their productivity is higher at the end of having gone through this process than it was before. So the journey is actually really important to enable that increased commitment and morale and happiness as a result of the change. Now, if we've learned anything over the last 12 weeks or so, it's that how squished or not a curve is important. And that is this is no exception. So if you have a change which is poorly managed, or you have a change which you are very you as an individual aren't engaged with, you run the risk of extending the peaks and troughs of that curve, which means that the whole thing takes longer. The dips in your emotions are much more violent, and the rise out of that depression is longer and harder. So there's a genuine benefit, because the other thing is, if you are engaged with the change, if the people who are doing the change enable you to be engaged with it or help you be engaged with it, or if you allow yourself to be engaged with it, then that dip is less, the rise out of the dip is faster, and the whole thing doesn't take as long. But the reason we looked at this is, how can we use the tools that GTD have given us in order to help us engage with change? What's this got to do with lists and actions? Well, David Allen left us with a fantastic quote in the book, which was, most often, the reason something is on your mind is that you want it to be different than it currently is, which is as good a definition of change as I could come up with. And I think what this really shows is that actually getting things done is kind of a small change management process. It's about taking something that you want to be different and managing how you do that. The difference being that you are often choosing that outcome yourself, rather than it being something that you're doing. And it's about all of the different kinds of things, all of the varied kinds of things that we want to be different. So all of the changes that we engage with. But what that means is that some of the tools from getting things done can be really neatly applied to enabling us to engage with change and to understand what that change means for us, and to help ourselves smooth that curve.